To have a magical season, a team needs its stars to do special things. Arizona State, of course, had guys like Cam Skattebo rewriting the record books. But a team also needs the unsung heroes, the guys that do the dirty work that doesn't often show up in the box score, guys that are true team leaders, guys that make the big plays in the big moments. Melquan Stovall was one of those guys for Arizona State. Over his 2 years, the wide receiver became a sure-handed target and a critical part of ASU's turnaround. He also earned not one, but two master's degrees off the field. Not too shabby. On this episode, Melquan and I discuss his role in ASU's resurgence, his growth as a leader, the targeting call, his CIA aspirations, the future of the Sun Devil offense, and so much more. So let's get to it. Here's my conversation with Melquan Stovall. All right, Melquan. So ASU fans last night in action in the Peach Bowl. Of course, we'll get to that play in a second ago. How are you doing these days? Obviously getting ready for the opportunity at the next level.
Yes, sir. I'm doing good. Just preparing for pro day and stuff like that. So I'm here training at ASU with Coach Joe, and getting ready for that. So it's exciting.
So of course we'd be remiss if we didn't talk about it. Now that you've leaving the college ranks behind, heading to the pros, it was clearly targeting, right?
I mean, people have their opinions. I just control what I can, and just leave it up to the people who decide it. So I don't really focus on that. They called it, how they called it. So it is what it is.
A very diplomatic answer. Appreciate that. Of course, that game capped 6 years at the college level and making a number of catches. I believe 163 total catches in your career. Does one catch stand above the rest as your favorite?
Particular catch probably be my first touchdown, for sure. That's something that I remember like the back of my head. It was a special moment. So
walk our viewers and listeners through that play. What was that first touchdown like for you?
Yeah, so my first touchdown, just we were throwing a lot of screens that game, so faked the screen pass up the sideline, threw it to me, and took it 65 yards. So it was a pretty cool moment.
So of course, that Peach Bowl was just one of the most crazy games I've ever seen. I've been covering this team for 11 seasons now. Where does that Peach Bowl and of course the furious comeback you guys put together in that second half? Where does that rank in terms of like the wildest games you've ever played in?
I would have to put that at number one. From the way we fought at the end and came back, that was just something crazy. So I would definitely put that at the top. Special moment in a big time game.
So of course, the first half, it was a little bit rough going for you guys. What was kind of your thoughts, heading into the locker room at that point in terms of just where the game was right there? Obviously, the team had shown such great resiliency throughout the course of the season, and is one of the team leaders. What was kind of the locker room mood and message like?
Yeah, so the message was clear that the game was 0-0. That we had an even slate. We just know we had to come out in the second half and fight. To get back into the game. So we all went into the second half with a good mindset. Xavier Alfred, he's one of the vocal leaders in the leadership room, and he's the guy that gets everybody going. So he's just in the locker room, just letting everybody know that we have to come out with that dog mentality in the second half, and we have to bring it to him.
Speaking of Alfred, Kenny even joked one time that he doesn't really say much to you guys pregame and just kind of lets X do his thing.
Mm-hmm.
What has made him such an impactful leader this year?
Yeah, Xavier's a tremendous player. He's going to have a lot of opportunities in the NFL next year. So he's just he's the leader that you want to be the headpiece of your program, and he defines leadership. Of every little detail that you think of a leader being, that's him. He's somebody that's gonna come in and he's gonna expect the best out of you. He's gonna push you to get to levels that you've never thought you could reach before. And he's like that with everybody on the team, even some of the young guys. He's taken Montana Warren under his wings, and he showed him the ropes. And that's just somebody that we can depend on to be there no matter what.
Of course, he's on that Pat Tillman Leadership Council along with yourself. And, what did it mean to you to, first be voted on by your peers to be a member of that, that select group of team leaders? And then, how did you feel that your leadership over the course of this very successful year kind of helped shape the course of this season for the Sun Devils?
Yeah, it was a huge honor, to be voted on to the Pat Tillman Leadership Council. That's something that you don't really take for granted there. Being among a lot of special guys in that room, it just shows the desire that you put into the game and the hard work that you put in, and just seeing people being able to look up to you and be able to take advice from you and just learn, and grow as a person and as a player.
Of course, you guys come out in that second half and really just kind of took the college football world by storm. Everybody was a Sun Devil fan. It seemed like nationally at that point. What do you think that you and your teammates said to kind of the college football landscape as a whole with that performance and that comeback and that valiant effort?
Yeah, with that performance and comeback that we showed out there, I feel like it gives us kind of a lead way, for us to not be known as the underdogs all the time. We in a lot of games that we played this year, we're predicted to lose or being a huge underdog in each game that we played in. Majority of them, so a handful of them that we had. Just showing that we're gonna put our best effort out there every game we play. No matter what we're predicted. That's stuff that we typically don't pay attention to, but when it does get brought up, it definitely lights a fire to us.
Obviously, a lot of reasons why you guys were so successful last year, but how much of that, like that chip on the shoulder, underdog mentality, play a part in that successful formula?
Yeah, it's played a huge role because a lot of these guys on the team, have been doubted their entire lives. Throughout football, anything that they've done growing up. So a lot of the guys on this team has always had that chip on the shoulder, and you can tell when you walk into the locker room and when you come out to practice every day. Everybody has that chip on their shoulder to just want to get better and just prove to themselves and prove to everybody that they deserve to be at this level.
Obviously, having a season like you guys had and making the run to the playoffs, rewarding on its own, but of course, it represented a huge turnaround for the program as a whole. What's been the most rewarding aspect for you to be a part of of that group that obviously came in here during some pretty lean years and a tough year a year ago, but to put in the work and ultimately lift Sun Devil football and get it back on track?
Yeah, so it's very important to me, for many reasons. Just seeing the growth in the team from year one under Coach Dillingham to year two, and just the foundation that he's laid, and he lets the players lead the team, and you know our main thing is just to be a good person, and everybody came in year two, did that, and even outside of the facility, we're all hanging out, getting together, making sure that nobody's alone and by themselves, so this team is a tight knit team, everybody's bonding really well, so that was something that was special for us to see because I've never been a part of a team that was so close like this last year's team.
So of course, the wins were great and making the run to the playoff was great for the team and the program, the alumni, but also activating the valley, as Coach Dillingham
Yeah.
likes to say, and just seeing the kind of sleeping giants, kind of wake up a little bit and see the fans raucous in the stands, but also seeing you guys off and greeting you guys at the facility. What was it just like to know that your guys' collective performance on the field kind of got meant so much to so many people across the valley and across the country?
Yeah, it just shows the importance of our fan base and how much they care about ASU football. So it meant a lot. As we were leaving for the championship game, there was a crowd of people lined up there. Before when we left and when we came back. So it just shows how much of a tight knit community this is.
On the field, where did you feel you made the greatest strides, as you prepare for that next level? Where did you see, the improvement in your game?
Yeah, so making improvements in my game as far as from a leadership standpoint, being more vocal out there, helping out a lot of guys on the field. Even when we had JT go down, trying to step up the best that I can in situations that were given to me. So yeah, on the field, I would say I've improved a lot on my route running, creating space, when I can, and certain concepts that we have, and just overall, just being someone that can be consistent when catching the ball.
Yeah, of course, that was one of the key moments later in the year when Jordan unfortunately had that injury. But what was the kind of mentality in that wide receivers room when knowing that like you had to step up? Xavier had to step. Just everybody had to kind of help lift the game. Especially, I mean, you guys were heading into a conference championship opportunity, and just knowing that the offense was going to be without one of its key pieces.
Yeah, so the mindset, never really changed in the simple fact that everybody, just sat and waited on their opportunity to showcase what they can do. So when JT went down, that we lost huge production in the receiver room, but the mindset really didn't change. In the receiver room, everybody showed up, came to work every single day, day in and day out. You're seeing guys like Troy O'Meara, he stepped up big time. Xavier stepped up big time as well, and all the other guys, they were prepared when their opportunity came. You saw Malik McLean getting there, catch the deep ball, and then as well in the playoff game, score that touchdown. So it's just a testament to their hard work and the dedication that they had to stick around and continue to put in the work.
Of course, that next week, against Iowa State, the fourth down call that was just one of the big moments of the entire season. Coach Arroyo, kind of joked about the fact when he made the call there, he heard crickets on the headset because they were like, "Oh, are you serious?" What was it like? Walk us through that play from your perspective. Obviously, getting the call that you guys are going to go for it in that situation, and then making such a huge catch.
Yeah, so just in the moment, we knew that we were going to go for it at that point. Didn't know exactly what play we were going to call, but when that play came in, it's something that we repped all week, countless times. Me and Sam repped that play, all over the week. So it was just, it came natural, smooth. We knew what coverage we were going to get. We knew that they were going to bite up because, everybody in the country is thinking, they're definitely going to give the ball to Scat here. But yeah, just taking advantage of the opportunities that we had, was presented well.
When that ball's hanging there in the air, that deep ball that Sam put out there. What are the thoughts in your head in that exact moment?
Yeah, in that exact moment, it felt like the ball was in the air forever. Sitting there just tracking it. Just making sure that I keep my eye on the ball and look it in as I catch it. So from that point on, the rest was just run.
So I want to go back a little bit to the start of your football journey. I believe football family, but what were some of the things that you remember, like how you got into football, and what were some of the things that made you fall in love with the game from the start?
Yeah, some things that made me fall in love with the game was watching both my older brothers grow up and play football. Before I can even play, they'll be out there conditioning at practice, and I'll just be running around with their teams doing conditioning and stuff like that. And from that point forward, I knew I loved the game and knew I loved to be around it. So just got into it. The next couple of years when I was able to play when I was older, and never looked back from there.
Do you remember your first ever touchdown as a kid in a game?
Yeah, I do. So it was actually my first ever touchdown. Growing up, I believe I was that my second game of the year because I played running back. Growing up, and they gave me a handoff and just ran outside, took it down the sideline. So it's definitely a memorable moment for me.
So of course you've excelled off the field as well. Of course, not only just getting your bachelor's degree, but putting your time at ASU to good use with a couple of master's degrees under your belt as well. And I believe the latest one's also in cybersecurity. What's that like? Just juggling the rigors of being a football player and high level at that, as well as the academic rigors and demands of getting these not one but two master's degrees.
Yeah, so it's amazing, man. Just the opportunity, that was presented to me here at ASU when I was in the portal. Looking at, the schooling is, always, first to me when I'm looking at a school to figure out, where I want to go. So when I was looking and I saw that the unique opportunity that I had to potentially get two master degrees from here, it was a no-brainer for me. So when I got here, got my first master's in organizational leadership, and then the second one cybersecurity. So I'll be finished with that here this semester. So yeah, it was just an amazing opportunity for me.
I believe you told one of our morning anchors, Gina Maravilla, that you have some perhaps hopes of maybe one day leveraging that to education into a role with the CIA.
Yeah, it's definitely an option for me. I've been looking at the CIA, the DIA, as well as possibly the U.S. Marshal, possibly as well. Because football is going to end one day, and education is something that I take very serious and dear to heart. So being able to take advantage of that opportunity was just a no-brainer question to me right there. So yeah, I've also thought about getting into aerospace as well. So still doing my research on everything and trying to figure out different ways and what best fits for me.
Was kind of maybe talking about maybe the CIA and the marshals side of things, that law enforcement. Has that been something that's always been an interest of you, or is that something that maybe that's come on a little bit later on?
Yeah, it's always been something that I was interested in since a kid growing up. I felt myself always watching videos on it and doing research on it when I was younger, and I was like, this is something that I'm very interested in. So getting the opportunity to focus in on my career here at ASU and getting to study that, was something that really stood out to me. So I've always been interested in it.
How do you feel the background in football? Whenever the time is for you to hang up the cleats, how your experience as a football player can maybe translate for life for Agent Stovall.
Yeah, so feel like most importantly, being around a team and working together. That's something that I do really good with. So that's something that's going to definitely stand out there, and just showing the leadership and the dedication to get a job done when needed. So those are some things that I feel like I can take into my next career.
Going back to football a little bit, of course, you come to ASU in that 2023 season, pretty difficult, so many injuries and obviously a lot of the adversity that was kind of the program and the team was facing. Going through those struggles, what were the key lessons you felt you and the rest of your returning teammates were able to, take into 2024 that ultimately kind of was helping you guys to have the successful year that you did?
Yeah, so a lot of guys after that difficult season, we had to make the decision to come in coming in for winter workouts and make sure that that doesn't repeat itself again. So you know nobody likes to lose. So we had some leadership meetings and had some guys step up and be able to push guys to get the best out of them. When we're out there working with Coach Joe, so it started in the off season to make a choice to turn things around from there as a team standpoint, and just be accountable, hold yourself accountable and as well as your peers.
So, you are obviously closing the chapter on your college career. What advice would Melquan Stovall today give yourself? 6 years ago. Just beginning the collegiate journey.
Yeah, some advice that I would give myself is to sit back and enjoy it. Sometimes I got caught up into being a little serious with it, and find myself not really having fun here and there
Mm.
sometimes through some difficult times that I had with losing my sister as well. So just enjoy every moment because every journey comes to an end, and you don't want to leave any regrets out there with like, dang, I should have had a little more fun with it. Because like right now, like I'm missing being around the team. So when I'm going up to the facility and seeing guys come up to me and saying like, dang man, like we wish you were here right now. So that's something that you don't want to take for granted when you leave. A team, especially a team that was so close, like we are here.
What were some of your favorite moments and the moments that you'll cherish the most about your 2 years as a Sun Devil?
Yeah, some of my favorite moments would definitely have to be during fall camp. Just being around the guys, every day, and working hard. Having good times. Even at times when fall camp got a little much and we were all ready to go home. We went up to Camp T and stuff like that. But those are just moments that you won't be able to get back. Being around all the guys all the time and just having a good time playing football, things that we love to do. So.
Of course, Kenny Dillingham has done pretty remarkable work in turning around his alma mater during your 2 years with him. What are some of the things that would jump out about Kenny and the impact he's had on your life?
Yeah, he has had a tremendous impact on my life. He's definitely, a player's coach and somebody that is going to be there for you on and off the field. He wants the best for you. Every day when we come into the building, he asks, how we're doing mentally, physically, how our bodies are feeling, different things like that. And he's going to take that information that you give him, and he's going to help you out the best way that he can. So that's something that I definitely took away from him is being a player's coach and really caring for your team.
So, how do you feel that your time in Tempe as a Sun Devil in these 2 years, and going through some downs last year collectively, but now such leaving on such a high note? How do you feel your time as a Sun Devil has maybe kind of shaped you, and as you embark on the next chapter of your life?
Yeah, I feel like I've grown a lot as a person. Figuring out who I am and stuff like that. And being here in Tempe has, definitely helped me out with that. And just growing as a person, meeting new people, been around new people, people that we brought in from the transfer portal. I got very close with tight end, Shimon Mater, and a lot of these guys who had just got here this past season. So, that's some things that, I'm definitely going to miss being around these guys and, cherishing these moments that we have built, together.
As we look ahead, of course, NFL draft a couple months away. What is the preparation for you? What's kind of the day to day for you look like? These next couple months as you prepare for the to make the jump to the next level.
Yeah, so a lot of it is we're preparing. We're doing training Monday through Saturday with Wednesday and Saturday being recovery days and like light work days, and then as well as getting in route running on the field as well to prepare myself for that. And then yeah, I'm on a nutritional diet, so I've been staying true to that and making sure that I'm on top of that. And when pro day gets here, can't wait to produce what I've built over these last couple months.
So of course, as you move on to Sundays, this Sun Devil team looks like it's returning most of the guys, and it should be another contender next year. Well, now that you'll be on kind of the outside looking in, what are some of the things you're most excited to watch next year from
Uh,
this Sun Devil team?
Most definitely. I'm excited to see how they continue to grow. Coming off of success, this season, I'm excited to see how they respond to, continuing getting better, throughout this off season. I'll be around, watching them work out and stuff like that. So just being able to respond to, success and respond in the right way and move in the right direction. And, I believe that they have some young guys and some guys that they've gotten from the transfer portal who are very hungry and, excited to be here. Just being around a facility, seeing how much work, extra work that they're putting in, it's amazing.
Of course, JT, coming off 1,000-yard year, he's a pretty well known commodity. But who are some returning wide receivers, or maybe even some of the new guys you got to know that you think are going to be able to kind of jump in and kind of fill that role that left by you, Xavier, and some others.
Yeah, so I'm very excited to see. Besides Jordan Tyson, very excited to see how Derek Eusebio, Zachariah Sample, Noble Johnson. That guy is going to be something special as well. So I'm just excited to see the overall whole team. See how they do the season. I know they're going to get ready and they're going to be ready once game time gets here.
And then, of course, one of the cornerstones, of course, is quarterback Sam Levitt. From your perspective as a veteran, seeing a first-time starter from, taking that first snap against Wyoming to, what he was able to do against one of the nation's best defenses in Texas. Where did you see the most growth, and what are you expecting to see from him in the future?
Yeah, he has grown a lot over the season. Just seeing the amount of work that somebody puts in, and you reap what you sow, and just seeing him getting into the film room. He's a film junkie. That guy's constantly watching film, constantly taking notes, reviewing his plays. Calling the receivers like, hey, like what are you gonna do on this route if you have this coverage? That's somebody that loves the game, and when you have a quarterback like that, it's gonna be very dangerous.
What do you think you're going to miss the most about being a Sun Devil?
Uh, Most important thing I'll miss about being a Sun Devil is just the brotherhood. Like I've said, it's special here. Being around the guys and being around the coaches, really like a family. So, that's something that I'm definitely gonna miss being around.
10, 15 years down the road when, Sun Devil fans are at a sports bar or something and the name Melquan Stovall comes up, what do you hope they say? How would you like to be remembered by ASU fans?
I would like to be remembered as somebody that was, reliable and always put the team first. Throughout my whole career, I've always been somebody who's been a team first player, doing whatever it needs to be done, special teams, blocking. It didn't matter what it was. Just somebody that was a team player.
And then, you're a guy that, came to Tempe and kind of, bought into the vision that Kenny Dillingham's laying forward. So for any folks out there who might be considering ASU as a, step to kind of get their career going, what would be your message to those considering Arizona State?
Yeah, if you want to be, developed by some great coaches, people that truly care about you on and off the field, and who's going to set you up to be, successful. Is definitely something that you would consider, coming here to Arizona State. So, that's something that's big time when you're looking at a school, making sure that it's the right fit for you as well. So, that's something that, when you're looking at schools, take a look at that and just reach out to all the players that you can on the team, and everybody will say the same thing about how amazing the staff is.
I'd like to thank Melquan for taking the time to talk with me for this episode. Make sure you are subscribed to Speak of the Devils on the podcast platform of your choice for more great episodes all off season long. And make sure to follow me on social media at bdenny29.